we are going to jump right into this. And you're going to thank me later. We're here with the multi-talented singer, songwriter, instrumentalist, Sean Taylor. Bronx native, baby.
Yeah.
He's in the building.
We love it.
And I want to jump right in because I feel like you have so many gems. Also, you're the CEO of Respect the Musician. We can't forget that.
Come
right?
on now.
Let's go. We got merch and all of that, right?
Listen, playing no games.
Okay. But I want to jump in. I've known you for 35 years. And I guess my first question is, how did you go from educator, I know you're an educator, into becoming a musician? Take us back just a little bit so we can know.
For sure.
Who is Sean Taylor?
So, interestingly enough, I was a musician before an educator.
Okay.
I wound up getting into education because of having a conversation with a mentor of mine. She passed away, Dr. Luana Butts. We went to the same church. And in full transparency, I didn't want to go to college after high school. I went to LaGuardia High School. I was going on many auditions. I was getting a lot of gigs, going on a lot of casting calls, had an agent. Things were going really great. Shout out to John Shea, Heather Finn, Frontier Booking International. And I really wanted to keep that going, right? Having that experience doing Broadway and off-Broadway. But any which way, I wanted to be the good kid, the golden child, so to speak. And I did what my grandparents wanted me to do. So I went to college, and I'm there in my first year, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here. And then I had a conversation with Dr. Luana Butts. She was like, well, you know that you could do education. I could totally see you doing that because, you have a zest for learning. You love children. And you're a great communicator, and the workday ends early enough to where you could still go to the studio. You could still, do performances or whatever you need to do. Okay. And then it was right in that moment where, from my freshman year into sophomore year of undergrad, where the light bulb went off, and I said, childhood education. Yeah. And from there, it's been quite the journey.
Okay. Well, don't you feel like as a musician, it's a constant learning process? I think when you get music in your blood, I know that was me. I started music when I was 10. When it's in your blood, it's like you start to get excited because you know what those notes mean, you know what those rhythm patterns mean, and it just feels fun to keep telling people about it or experiencing it and sharing it. So I can see why being an educator would be so natural for you.
No, 100%. I truly believe that God has me where I need to be in His divine timing. And education and music. I mean, it makes total sense. And as you mentioned about constantly learning, not just through musicianship, but I mean, it's life, right? You're constantly learning. You never have it, because the only thing that's constant in life is change, right? The world is constantly evolving. We went from having vinyl records to cassette tapes to CDs to the mini Walkmans, the MP3s, and then you know what I mean. And then now it's and then it went to downloading, right. Where now the artist could get money directly, or if
is that considered streaming, downloading?
Oh no, now it's streaming,
right.
It's that's another. I guess you could say another approach to how people, how they indulge in music and how they digest music. But now it's more so like a subscription type model, where they rather users to spend out. Case in point, like I don't know, $9.99 a month, gives you access to the full library of millions of artists.
Okay.
Right, and so with that constant change, as an artist, as an educator, you know, as a human being, you have to always stay ready and stay in the know of what's going on, because you will get left behind.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and so
Quick.
I embrace the journey of, okay, this is what's happening in music now. This is how can I remain true to myself while still implementing what is contemporary.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get inspired by John Baptiste and what he's put out recently? You know, where he's taken something old and he's kind of re-navigated it into this new thing. I mean, you know, he's up for, I think, for some Grammys. He took Beethoven's Fifth and then totally like went off to a whole nother planet.
Yeah. I think what he's doing is great. He's an incredible musician. And when you can combine being an incredible musician and having the right connections,
there you go.
that means that now the bandwidth of what you're doing now is larger. You can more people can take in what you're doing.
But is that new? Isn't that called remixing?
Yeah, right, like there's nothing new under the sun. Right. You could call it the remix, so to speak.
I mean, they do that all day long. They take the old school and remix it to the new school, right?
Absolutely. But it's new to whomever has never experienced it.
Okay.
You know,
That's
it's
fair.
you know, it's almost like, you know, I could drop a song into my, you know, tomorrow, and to me, I could be saying to myself, this is old. Like I wrote this like 3-4 years ago.
But it's new to
whomever has never heard it.
That's true.
You know, but yeah, that's what.
I'm sorry. You mentioned a musician. I don't know who that person is.
Who, John Baptiste? Well, you had brought up John Baptiste.
Yes, I love John
Baptiste.
Baptiste.
Okay, so
I'm going to tell you.
You guys were talking. I was like,
He's
who's
fly.
that?
Yeah, John Baptiste, he's a composer. He's a pianist. And recently he was, I can't remember the exact platform, but he was playing classical music.
Oh, okay.
And then he showed how you can go from classical music into funk.
Yeah.
And then go from funk, you know, into soul.
Okay.
And just
So he's
and
well-rounded.
he's a well-rounded musician. But to me, my takeaway from that, it just shows you that it's a universal language.
That's
It's
right.
all one story.
Right.
That, which is why I say, you know, I'm gonna bring it full circle, respect the musician, because music is all around the world, it's all around the universe.
It's true.
And even if you are somebody who loves classical music, you could still find value in country. You know, if you're somebody who you love, you know, R&B and soul, you can find value in an Afrobeat record, you know, so to speak, or a dancehall record.
That's true.
And so
It's true, because it's the rhythm that a lot of times it speaks to you, moves your soul, even if you don't know what
The
language
words,
they're speaking
right?
or the words to it. Even English songs that I swear I thought I knew the words to, and then when you read the lyrics, you're like, oh, that's what he was saying.
I didn't know that's what you were saying, right?
there you go.
Right.
The rhythm
Yes.
changes, just like you know, when you jazz, you know, well, what is now? I'm the educator in me now.
Let's go.
Formerly known as jazz,
Right.
is really called Black American music.
Amen.
I love
Yeah.
that talk.
The originally in its inception, you know,
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2,
Right.
3, 4, and 1,
The
right?
beat.
And then when you change the emphasis from the downbeat to the upbeat, now you have reggae.
That's
One.
right.
It's still that same.
But it's still music. You
Right.
just put the emphasis on a certain point. And I think about, it's a conversation. It's a story. Everybody has a story,
Yes.
you know, and everybody has different perspectives on the thing. Same thing with music. And so that's why, you know, I keep coming back to respect the musician. Like, you have to respect the notion that music is not just something that sounds good. Or like, oh, it's cool. Or not really liking it. Not really my. No, you can. It's not. I like to say music is meant to be felt and not just heard. You know, and so once you start to experience it in that way, it truly hits different. You know.
So what instruments do you play?
That's where I was going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first instrument, my voice.
You are a singer?
Correct.
Okay. You want to share something?
Very
with us?
sexy.
Hey,
You want to share something with us?
you want to hear a little something?
Wait.
Yeah.
But tell us. So you're
You
singer.
singer?
Yes, singer. my voice, the trumpet,
Okay.
the piano,
Mm-hmm.
the drums,
Mhm.
xylophone, trombone.
Trombone.
But I don't. These are things that I don't push to the forefront.
Okay.
Why? Because when you have a brand, people can easily get confused.
Yeah.
You want to keep things very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as an artist, when people see Sean Taylor, they know that
Mm-hmm.
I sing, I play the trumpet,
Mm-hmm.
and I dance.
Mm.
Like
Okay.
singer, trumpet, dance.
Okay.
But if anybody who understands or overstands music, you know that
Mhm.
once you can read and compose music, you can learn any other instrument.
Yep.
So if you see me playing the keys, it shouldn't be like, oh wow, like whoa, because usually if you know how to play the trumpet,
Mm-hmm.
right? And as you can see, I'm salute to the legend Miles Davis.
Amen.
He was also inspired by. He was inspired by Dizzy Gillespie.
Yep.
And Dizzy Gillespie told Miles that, hey, look, it's important to learn the basic chord progressions, or just being able to
Right.
find your way on the piano, the 88 keys. So now that will help your playing.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to when you see the trumpet, you just see the three valves,
Mhm.
right? And so for me, I don't put that on the forefront, but yeah, I can play basic to
Multi-talented.
intermediate.
Yeah, because once you kind of learn what those dots and flags and things mean on a scale or whatever, and
Music shoot.
yeah,
Yeah, the
once
sharps,
you
the
learn
flats,
all
yeah,
of that,
yep.
you really have this amazing open sky to the opportunity to take on anything.
Any other
And
instrument.
and vocally it starts getting in your ear. There's this connection between the sound and your hearing. And when you can start to and I can't even explain it really, because people who do improvisation, and I'm sure you probably do that, you start to get this sense of I don't know, it is sort of like soul work. It feels like it's something coming from your soul. It's something in you. It's a sound. It's a hearing thing. And it's like a deeper connection.
Right.
Like when you really connect with people and you're doing music, it's not like a normal connection.
Right.
I can't even explain it.
It's a special connection for sure. To your point about improvising, when you can create on the spot, impromptu, you're not thinking, oh, I'm about to play this or I'm about to sing this, because you know that you've already put in the work of repetition. Right?
Ooh.
And so forth and so forth.
Yep.
And then now when you're freestyling, da 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 da
Woo! We got the groove.
Come on.
Coming to a venue near you.
Hey.
We thought it was a temptation. No.
Listen,
Well, we can definitely get into
that was on the
improv,
spot.
man.
That was
That
Feeling that.
that's the beauty of music.
Yes,
Like,
it is.
you know,
You feel it.
Right.
There's
Come
nowhere
on.
to come in.
Right.
It's hard not to.
Dun, dun, dun.
So wait.
Go
No.
ahead. I mean, it's like we don't get the opportunity once we're adults to play. And when you're a musician or an artist or an entertainer, man, it gives you the permission to really play.
Yeah, and let loose.
Yeah, let
Yes,
loose.
and be and upkeep that childlike spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
What is
Yeah.
your genre? Like, where do you put yourself? Where you at?
well,
Because I know you have the Jamaican background,
right,
Mm-hmm.
so
That's rich.
all right. That in itself
Very
is
rich,
rich.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
from the Bronx.
Yeah.
BX,
That's
baby.
colorful.
That's rich
That's
Yeah,
too.
a
right,
another
right,
rich.
right.
I mean, I think on the surface, people would say, "Oh, he's an R&B artist."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They'll say like he's a singer.
Mhm.
He's a singer who does adult contemporary
Mhm.
R&B /
Mhm.
pop kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you
Peel the
dive in,
layers.
and look at the layers, you'll hear rhythm and blues. You'll feel the dance hall. You'll feel some of the Black American music influences. You'll feel the soul. And so I like to say that my sound is the Classentic sound. If I were to create a genre, that's my genre. Classentic, which is Classentic. It's a portmanteau of the words classic and authentic.
You
So-
better talk that talk.
Yeah,
Right?
classic and authentic. You got Classentic, and that's
Okay.
when you listen to any Sean Taylor music or you experience any Sean Taylor music, whether it's I'm leaning to where the music is making you dance, or if the music is lush, where it makes you you're more calm and you're subdued and taking is that kind of vibe, or if it's R&B more in that lane, or if it's more dance hallish, it still has a classic feel to it, to where it's rich in the authenticity, and it's authentic, and it's coming from
Classentic.
it's coming from a true and real place. If I'm going to do a dancehall record, for example, you're going to hear those elements of a classic dancehall, doom 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 doom
Right.
doom 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 doom.
It's
You're
like
gonna
a
you're gonna
marching sound.
it's authentic to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's R&B, if it's more of an R&B approach to the record, you're gonna hear harmonies. You're gonna the arrangement is gonna be introduction, verse, chorus,
Right.
verse, bridge.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the bridge? Right,
Right.
now,
Right.
people have
Uh-oh.
taken the bridge out of
Gotta
Where's
change.
the
music,
bridge?
right?
The
Everything,
bridge is over.
we got to bring the bridge back. So
The bridge is over.
that's where I can really get in my creative bag
Okay.
as an artist, songwriter, musician, where I can arrange things in a way where there's harmonies, and then you get into the post production when I may add strings
Wow, yeah.
and
Talking
other
really
instruments
tough.
and things like that.
Right?
So you
So-
mentioned that you have an album or a song out.
Oh yeah. Oh, she said I'm gonna get you to sing.
That's it.
She's like, I'm gonna get it out of
playing
you.
with
That's
So
it. I'm just
I have
saying.
earlier this year I dropped an EP entitled "It's Just a Vibe,"
Okay.
and "It's Just a Vibe"
We'll put it in the
is
show notes.
"It's Just a Vibe" is that's like my catchphrase.
Okay.
Like, when you in most of the songs that I have out now, you'll hear it in there. It's just a vibe. When you hear that, that's Sean Taylor.
Okay.
Okay.
When you hear that phrase, or if you hear oh yeah, that's like my ad lib. That's like a
Okay.
thing, and that's the Jamaican aspect or the
Right,
dancehall aspect.
Right.
Artists have to have a thing that you can easily
Distinguish.
record.
You know
Yeah.
that's that.
So when you hear oh yeah,
Yeah.
Sean Taylor.
Yeah.
If you hear it's just the vibe, Sean Taylor.
Taylor.
When you hear the trumpet, I'm getting it to the point to, or probably is at the point where people hear trumpet, they think of Sean
Sean
Taylor.
That's
Yeah.
what I think of.
As soon and that happens to me all the time. People will be like, "Yo, I heard the trumpet. I heard this guy playing. I thought of you.
Yeah.
I heard the trumpet in the song. Oh, thought of Sean
Sean
Taylor."
Taylor.
That's
And I'm like,
great.
in my heart, I'm just like, you get those confirmations where you think that, man, I'm not further than where I want to be, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, people are paying attention.
Yeah.
They're listening.
And I think
Yeah.
with the social media thing, for the first time, musicians at all levels have more access to an audience.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether you have an audience of 1,000 people or 100,000 or 100 million. The goal is, I think anyone who has music in their blood, is they just want to get it out there and
Right.
share it and connect.
Right.
Right.
And so now with all the things that are available, how do you go about pursuing so many of these different types of venues?
Well, I'm gonna tie that into what you were talking about as far as the project that I dropped, right? And sharing and connecting.
Right.
So it's just a vibe. The EP literally is it's just a vibe. You cannot put it in a box of is it R&B, is it this? It's just something that you feel.
It's a
Right.
vibe.
It's just a vibe, and
Yeah.
that's it's almost like when someone says, "Oh, how's this? Why do people gravitate towards you? What is it about?" It's just a
The
vibe.
vibe.
I
give
can't
it-
explain.
give it all.
I
There
give
you
up.
go.
That's
Right.
your sauce.
Right, that's the sauce, right?
Right.
You may try to replicate the recipe,
Yeah.
but
It
you
won't
you
taste
can't
the
the sauce. The sauce.
Nope.
I am the sauce.
Right. Hey, and I
You
think
understand?
every musician feels that way.
Yeah, hello, and if you don't, then you're not doing it right.
Well,
Listen,
yeah.
if I say I am the best,
Mhm.
that's not stepping on nobody else's toes.
No,
right.
Anybody who steps in that ring, that musical ring,
Right.
you should feel like you are the best at what you
Right.
do.
You're the
Yes,
best Sean
absolutely.
Taylor there is.
There's no other.
And there's only one me.
That's
so
right.
That's it.
I share and connect
Mhm.
musically
Mhm.
and musically through social media,
Mhm.
in person,
Mhm.
by whether it be having a conversation, whether it be performing,
Mhm.
and it's just a vibe. It is something that resonates with everybody. I got the
Right.
single, Pull Up,
Mhm.
and I got the video that just dropped, Joe Grind. So
Oh,
I'm gonna
cool.
give you a little.
Give us a
I'm gonna give you a little.
Hit us, hit
We
us.
waiting
What's the word I
for?
want to
What's we
use? What's the
waiting
word I
for?
want to use?
Little taste.
Hold on. Not taste. Yeah, you could call it that.
Right.
So
We
I
waiting
give-
for?
I got
Come
you.
on, you holding
She's
me.
like, look. She's like, come on.
All
All right, so we got Pull Up is like, pull up. It's just a vibe. Listen, pull up on me. I like the way you work it. Push up on me. I like the way you twerk it. I know she want the bag and the Birkin. She ain't going home alone. Right? Oh, she added a right.
She gave it
Right?
good.
And so then going into Joe Grind, we got blame it on alcohol, be ready to explore. I looked in the eyes and said, you could call me Joe Grind. Just hit me on my line. Or whenever you need it, I'm the one that's gonna give you the treatment. You can anticipate me having you screaming. Call me Joe.
All right.
Yeah.
Y'all can thank me later. Thank you later. It's okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's some of your big influences in your music? Who are some artists that has been like, I guess, almost instrumental, or who you really love?
For sure. I mean, this may sound cliche, but I am a moonwalker. So
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on.
I think on the surface, anybody who hears me, they can hear
I did.
a Michael
I felt
Jackson inspiration.
I felt it.
Louis Armstrong,
Mm.
Miles Davis,
Old school baby. Take it back.
Clifford Brown.
Hmm.
You got Whitney Houston in there?
I mean, Whitney's great, but she hasn't inspired
She's
me to like
different.
in
Yeah.
that
It's a
that way.
different
Right.
pop
But
kind of
listen,
genre.
Whitney is the voice.
Yeah, she really is.
You
She's
know,
got some, she's got some.
Some of the influences I would say are Jackie Wilson.
Mm.
Oh, yes.
Uh,
I can hear that.
Yeah, Jackie Wilson.
Mhm.
A lot of old
Hold
school.
on. I'm about to tell you. Hold on. I can't believe it's not coming to me right now. Okay. Johnny Wilder.
Johnny Wilder.
Hold on. Lead singer from Heat Wave.
Oh,
The
yeah.
lead,
Wave.
you know, always and
And
forever.
forever.
Oh.
Right. That-
This moment with you.
Yeah.
Yo,
Right,
That's it.
right. Come on, yo.
All
The
right.
music is just a vibe
There, she
feeling
got
it
it.
now.
She got it.
that
got it.
somehow came true.
Oh my gosh.
Keep going. Song.
Lonely.
Oh, look at you. You know the
Hit it, hit it,
words.
hit it.
Phone me and take
Oh, yes.
A second.
to give to me
Yeah.
that magic you make
It's just a vibe, baby.
Yeah.
every day.
I love
All
it.
right.
Then, you know what I mean? We ain't gonna get we can
This
keep
is what
it
you be
going.
doing to the ladies.
So
No,
how do
oh,
you see
wow.
yourself ultimately kind of
What's
like
the ultimate?
going after this as a career?
Well, my goal, of course, I think for any musicians is to be able to make a living
Right.
solely off of what you love
Yeah.
to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, my dream is to be able to tour,
Mm-hmm.
perform, share my gifts with the world, and bring authenticity to the forefront, live musicianship, and advocating for true musicianship. I think that we went, when I say we, referring to like the state of music, we went through a period of where, you know, it doesn't matter if you're talented or not, as long as you have a following,
Right.
you know, you'll be popular.
Right.
I am advocating for
Talent to come back.
I'm advocating for bringing remarkable talent to the forefront,
Absolutely.
and
Respect
where
the musician,
you know
right?
when like if you're an artist, like you actually sing, like you really can sing. You don't have to be the best in the world, but you actually have to know how to use your instrument.
Yes.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
if you're a rapper, you know, or an MC, you really have to know how to have a pen. You know how to
Right,
write.
right.
You have to know how to spit off the top.
Yeah.
You know, things of that nature.
Use your
Um,
breath.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Hello.
so I'm about bringing, I would say about bringing that authenticity, that musicality, true musicianship, true connecting with the people genuinely on stage and really giving your all, regardless if it's 10 people or 10,000 people. Anybody who knows Sean Taylor, whether I performed at a backyard event or if I'm on Front Street on stage and there's 10 to 20,000 people, I'm leaving it all there.
Yeah.
The vibe.
Yeah,
Even the vibe.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that's musically, that would be my dream. And people would say like, yo, there's nobody doing what he's doing.
Yes.
That's
You know,
great.
and if I could just dive in a little bit further, Michael Jackson, he sang, and there was a marriage between the music and the dance.
Yep.
Right. You had
Entertainer.
but I'm saying the production beat, the production was boom, boom, and that connected
That's
with.
the chest moving?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
you
I'm
got
crying.
something.
Yo, listen, y'all.
Don't do that to her. Don't do that.
Yo,
You got
stay focused.
I'm just saying.
I need you right here to
You're
tell
right.
you.
I need you here with me. Listen.
My eyes go. I'm like, what is it? That's
So
not
look,
their bags?
there's a-
He hit you with the thing.
So look, there was a marriage between the music and the dance, right?
Yes.
Mike, the pop, the boogaloo, it connected.
Yeah.
You had James Brown, he had the
Oh,
shuffle,
my
the footwork.
God.
It connected with the funk.
Yes.
For me,
Mhm.
the world has not seen authentic dance hall. They have not seen it in an authentic way.
Okay.
An inspiration to me
Right.
is also Father Bogle, Gerald Levy. You know, most people when they think of the Bogle dance, you know,
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
But the man, the history, the dance,
Mm-hmm.
you know, unfortunately, he's no longer here with us on
Okay.
this side.
Right.
He was tragically killed.
Yeah.
However, for me, the world has not seen that where, you know, you go to a dance hall or a bashment where
Yeah.
people are, you know,
Moving their legs.
you know,
Yeah.
and so it's like,
Grinding,
And that's
yeah.
old
So for
school.
me, I want to bring
That back.
bring that energy to the forefront and be the first
Right.
doing that. And in all of it, anybody paying attention, you could see that while I'm pushing forward, I'm always paying homage to
Oh,
those
yeah.
that came before me.
Let's
I
face it.
great.
love that.
Those are
That's
deep,
what I love.
deep roots.
Yes.
What you're talking about.
I didn't even know about that gentleman's name.
You know, we
just mentioned it. I'm
Bogle?
like, oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bogle is the greatest,
Oh, yeah.
the greatest dancer to come out
Oh,
of
my
Jamaica.
gosh.
He paved the way for many dancers
Mhm.
to make a living from dancing.
Yeah.
And so I have all these influences like the Michael Jackson, the Bogle,
And that
Bogle.
Bogle is a very complicated rhythm.
Yeah.
That rhythm is not
So if
something
it's in you,
that's
it's in you, right?
it's
Mhm.
very
You know what I'm saying?
unique.
Right? It's in you, but then it also has to be on you.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
it.
and I
Ooh.
want people to see that
Yeah.
I'm bringing that in an authentic way.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
singing,
Mhm.
playing trumpet, I'm dancing. You can see the
Nice.
inspiration of,
Mhm.
as I mentioned, Michael Jackson,
Right.
Bogle, Miles Davis, Louis Armstrong. I'm like I have legends who are pushing me
Oh
forward.
yeah.
There you go.
There you
And
go.
that's-
right in
and-
the box.
yeah.
I do have
Yeah.
one question before
Yeah.
we get out of here, just to pivot a little bit. As far as the business side of it,
Yeah.
like how does that work? What would you tell new
Your
musicians?
students.
Yeah.
What would you tell them coming in?
Young people.
Sure.
The
So,
business side, speak to them about setting it up, you know, all that good stuff.
all right, let me see if I can give a quick synopsis.
Yes.
So as you had mentioned about my brand, Respect the Musician. So for many years, that was something that I always said, respect the musician, respect the musician. And it wasn't until a few years ago, I said, I have to really turn this into a business.
Okay.
And that's when I made it, I trademarked it, LLC, Respect the Musician. And now everything that I do, whether it be a booking, wherever I release any music, it's Sean Taylor, but I'm releasing it under Respect the Musician,
Okay.
right?
And why did you feel as though you had to put it into a business, an LLC? Because a lot of people on social media singing and stuff like that. I don't think they
They don't have
think
business
about
set up. Right?
Yeah,
business
they
set
do
up.
it as
They-
a sole proprietor.
Yeah,
or
they
something.
may not because
Right.
maybe they're just focused on they have the love for it.
Right.
Maybe they just want to go viral, so to speak.
Mhm.
I'm playing in the long game,
Good.
right?
Mhm.
Because you could be hot right now and then you may not be hot the next second,
Yeah.
right? But if you set up your business and you operate as a business. And when you, as an artist, people will take you more seriously.
Yes, that's
When
so
people are like,
true.
wait a minute, listen, I have my LLC, I have a business account for my brand. I have my lawyer. I have my they're like, wait a minute.
merch.
They're like, I have merchandise. I have my website.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, wait a minute. This guy
also-
means business. Like he knows
That's
what he's
right.
doing.
That's right.
You know, and so you have to operate as a business. I mean,
That's also protects you, right? Your work.
yeah, I mean,
Right.
absolutely. I mean, you have to. If you are somebody putting, you had mentioned about, it's not just creating music and putting it out. You also want to protect your music. You want
Right.
to protect your intellectual
Yeah.
property and things of that sort. So it's more than just, oh, when I hear that, that's him. It's more so like now, oh, that's him, but also it's copywritten and he wrote that song and he composed that and it's been released through his LLC. I'm speaking in third person.
Yeah.
Shout out.
That's okay.
But respect the musician. And so, what I would tell any artist or anybody who's looking to go forward and building something for themselves to where they can make a career out of it is first off that you do it from a place of authenticity. If you truly love it, if coming from a moral standpoint. I get it. There's a lot. The music industry is a lucrative business if you really work it well. But if from a moral standpoint and think about people and the world and connecting, if you're doing it, do it from your heart. Do it because you truly love it. You have a true zest for it, and not just like, oh, I want to get popular or I want to have this crowd of people follow me. And then
And protect yourself.
and protect
your
yourself.
music.
If you create something, copyright it.
Right.
Create an LLC.
Yeah.
Join a PRO organization like an ASCAP or a BMI or a CSAC. Right.
Can you? And I don't mean to cut you in there, but when you was talking about that, something just came to my mind about like royalties and protecting work. Because some of these artists said that, oh, I own my own label. I own
Right.
My
what does that mean?
publishing.
Is that what it is?
They
So
own
when
their
they
own
own their rights to their
Sometimes they
music?
don't.
Is that your
own their
publishing?
music.
What does that mean?
So what that is if as an artist there are things like sync licensing and where let's say NBA 2K25, right? That video game wants to pick up my song,
Right.
right? I own the record, right?
Okay.
And every time the song is played in the video game over time,
They gotta pay
that
you.
over a certain period of time, whether it be quarterly, annually, that's how you get royalties. In that aspect, right? There's also a
they're
website.
using your music.
Well,
So
it's
you-
just
You're
paying-
granting them the right to use the
renting it to
music.
them.
You're
Okay.
renting.
Right. And there's also a website that helps with making sure that your mechanical royalties are being accounted for.
Right.
Is Sound Exchange. That's another website that's helpful with that. But you know, if you're doing it just as a hobby and you're like, hey, I just want to put it out there, whatever happens, happens, and you don't need to do all of this, forget everything that I said.
Right.
You know, but if you are an artist in any facet, as whether you're independent, if you're assigned to an independent record label, maybe you're signed to an independent record label that has a partnership with a major record label. You want to make sure that you have things in black and white situated to protect yourself. Because, I mean, you can create, if you do it right one time, you've done it. And what I mean by that is if you protect yourself in black and white and you have the proper paperwork, you could put out one song. And I mean, look, what's come to me, you mentioned Whitney Houston earlier, and I think of Dolly Parton.
Right.
I'm sure she's not complaining about I will always love
She getting that check.
she
right?
get that check.
Right.
Oh, because
She's
she
the
did
publisher.
because
Yes.
but my point,
She wrote that.
she did the right
Yes.
work
She
to
did the
protect herself. If she
paperwork.
didn't, she would be getting nothing.
No.
Mm.
And that happens a lot
In the
where
music industry.
musicians, right. Look at what happened to Dave Chappelle. He did all of that creativity for the Chappelle show. Guess what? When he walked away, he owned none of it. He
Mhm.
owned none
I
of
think
that
that was
creativity.
a big deal about that. He
Mhm.
walked away.
And I
from-
think this is because when we start out as creatives,
We're so hungry.
we're naive,
Not hungry, but
and
Naive.
we want
the
our
business.
creativity to be shared.
you're doing it for the love,
Mhm.
But
right?
you know what? People who want the money
Mhm.
take advantage of you.
Right. Take advantage.
And it is important to be, awareness is important, but it's also the implementation of that knowledge that you now have.
Mhm.
You know, you don't know what you don't know,
Right.
but when you do know it, you have to put it into motion. You have to put it into play.
Mhm.
For me, when people want to book me and they say, "Oh, well, how much does this cost?" and and I give them my price and I give them my number, and some people are like, "Oh, wow," I'm like, "Yeah, that's my number, and that's my price because I know my value,
Yeah.
I know my and I know what I'm bringing to the table."
That's right.
Right? You have to operate as a business.
Stand on
Yeah.
business.
And stand on business.
That's
And
right.
guess what? If that doesn't work for you as a potential person who wants to book me, that's no harm, no foul. Maybe there's somebody else who's within your budget. Right? Or maybe I may have a conversation, and let's have a conversation. Okay, well, if you can't afford me for an hour, I could give you a half hour.
Right.
We could work that out. But I say all that to say, if you're taking your music career serious, you have to operate as a business.
Period.
And do what you can until you have become so overwhelmed to the point that, you know what, I do need management.
Right.
I do need a team of people.
Right.
But people want to work with people who are already working.
Right.
And that's the state of the music.
Yeah.
That's the state of the music industry now.
Yeah.
They're not giving out $1 million deals at the drop of a dime anymore.
You want to
Right?
see what you come
They
into
want
the
to see.
table with.
They want to see how have you invested in yourself.
What's the
Right.
following?
Who's
What's your following? But
Yeah.
but you may not even have a huge. When I say a huge, is subjective.
Right.
But even if you had 1,000 followers, some people they have 1 million followers.
Mhm.
But if you have 1,000 followers,
So you
and you have, okay, case in point, you have 1,000 followers, but if out of that 1,000 followers, 700 of them are like loyally engaged,
Right.
compared to somebody who has 1 million followers, but only 10,000 are engaged.
Flip-flop.
It's a huge disparity.
Yeah.
So don't think that if you only have 1,000, that's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
No, you work with what you have, you build that community,
Right.
and you put
And
on
they
your
gonna stay
put
strong
on,
with
put
you,
on
right?
your put on your own events, right? Connect with the other local brands, so to speak, and then
Mhm.
now when an opportunity comes
You are ready.
with an investor or
Mhm.
let's say a major record label or major distribution, now they'll be more apt to work with you because
Right.
you now have a track record of the work that I have done. I have my LLC, I have my business, I have everything is copywritten.
Mhm.
I have these videos out. I have,
Mhm.
you have all these things already in place.
Plus, you can do what the rap artists have done. They've got these small, companies, and they both promote and layer into each other's work.
Okay.
Collaboration.
Collaboratively, and so everybody earns.
Right.
Everybody earns,
Everybody-
not
that's
just one
really
person.
the best way to
Everybody
go.
brings
Connect,
earning to the table.
Collab.
Collaboration
It's huge.
that's also something that I speak on, or I'm an advocate of collaboration over competition.
Yes.
A lot of people, they're competing or maybe in secret competition with other people, but it's like
Let's
you
come
would
together,
get
right?
so much further through collaboration.
Mhm.
And this is my opinion. If you live in a certain area and you know that you're an artist and there's another artist that lives in your same neighborhood, a collaboration with that person will go, to me, hold so much more value than, let's say you were able to spend, I don't know, a couple tens of thousands of dollars to get a feature from, I don't know, like Drake or any of these major artists.
Right.
But just because you get that feature from that major artist, that doesn't mean that artist is going to promote it,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you work with somebody who is also doing something similar to you, that's where you'll get much further. You'll get much further to where you
Makes
want to
sense.
go.
More
And
traction.
Makes sense.
so, I have toured and worked with many notable names in the music industry, and for me at this point, I'm very interested in collaborating with like-minded individuals, like-minded, brands, artists who stand for true musicianship.
Yeah.
And if you're serious about your work and your craft, let's work and let's
do it.
And how can they find you? How can they find you?
How can they
All right,
find
my
you?
website is SeanTaylor.com. That's SXNTYLR.com.
And we'll put that in the show notes.
You sound like you were singing that. Go ahead.
SXNTYLR.com. And then and at the other socials, that's at Sean Taylor at SXNTYLR. So unique spelling, but it's pronounced Sean Taylor.
And where can they get their music?
All of my music is available on all DSPs, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal.
Great.
And also you can get it direct
All
from
right.
if you want to truly support the artist, SeanTaylor.com.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This was
Yes.
so
Great.
much fun.
Shout out to the Three Ladies Podcast.
Oh, what's that? Is that our new intro? Whoa.
Hey, come on.
Come
It's the
on.
Three Ladies Podcast.
Yes.
Woo!
The Three Ladies Podcast. The Three Ladies Podcast. Woo! Come on now. Come on. Yeah, bring it in.
Woo!
Respect
you made
it.
that sound sexy.
Listen, respect the musician is just a vibe.